because I can spend the time. Okay. Did you get a chance to watch the last week recording?
No, I didn't.
Okay, so last time we did is the two-step linear equations. You probably already know how to do it, so I'm just write the one and see if you know how to do it.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Okay.
Equals 7. Minus 3, 5. Wait, no. That'd be 4.
So x is
2.
2. Very good. How about 3x plus 1 equal to let's say 8.
It's equal to 8. Okay, that's here. Minus 1 equals 7. 3x 3's cancel. Would x be equal to 7/3?
Yes, 7/3. Very good. So now you can see that the process you did is minus 1 on both sides, right?
Yeah.
And the rule, actually, since we are doing algebra, we have to make sure we follow the rule. And the rule on this one we used is this rule. If A is equal to B, then A plus C is equal to B plus C. Good?
Yeah.
So that's why we can do it, because this, and this rule just says that you can add anything on both sides. As long as you the same thing on both sides, the equation is true. Okay.
Yeah.
So we actually, what we did here is adding -1 on both sides. Good.
Yeah.
And then we know 1 plus -1 is 0, right?
Yes.
So we have this rule called A plus its opposite, -A is 0. Good.
Yes.
So when we do like algebra, we always have to make sure we follow the rules. It's just kind of like when you play any sports, you want to make sure you follow the rules so that you won't be penalized. And in math, if we follow the rule, we'll get the right answer. If we don't, we'll get the wrong answer. Good.
Yeah.
So we have that, and then that means what we got on this side is 3x plus 0, right?
Yes.
On this side, number is easy, it's 7. The hard part is playing with symbols. That's where you have to follow the rule. So now 3x plus 0 just 3x, right? And it's 7. So we have that. So we got 3x plus 7, and 3x equal to 7.
Yes.
And we do follow the rule. Here is a number adding 0 is number itself. Good.
Yes.
So now we're going to do multiply 1/3 on both sides. On this side, 1/3 times 3 is 1, right?
Yes.
On that side, it's basically 7/3. Good.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes total sense.
Yeah. So this rule is we use A times 1 over A equals to 1. Good.
Yes.
And 1 times x is x. So that's, we get the end of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's actually will be helpful. Can do a little bit of review on the rules of algebra. Okay.
Yeah.
And see how many you can remember, because this is what really important. Once you know the rules of algebra, you can do any algebraic problems. So when we're dealing with rule algebra, we're dealing with two operations, or called operator, plus and multiply. Good.
Yeah.
Now the first set of rule is A plus B equal to B plus A. Okay. So that means when you add two numbers, the order does not matter. Good.
Yeah.
And also when you multiply two numbers, the order doesn't matter either, right? 4 times 5 is the same as 5 times 4.
Yeah.
Okay? So this has a name for it. This is called the commutative property. And for this kind of first set of rules. And then when you're dealing with more than 2, when you add that, it really doesn't matter which 2 you start with. You could have the first A plus B first, then plus C, or you could have B plus C first, then you add A. Okay.
Yeah.
And also when you have like 3 numbers, you could have A times B, then times C, or you could have B times C, then times A. Okay.
Yeah.
So this is called associative property. So when we learn algebra, we really is learning the rules. It's just kind of like when you play any sports. At the first, you focus on the rules. Once you learn the rule, then you can do whatever you want. Then you're going to enjoy it. But without learning the rules, it's hard for you to play any sport. So we have that. Then we also have this, a special number. 1 is 0. Now 0 add any number does not change its value. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we have 1. 1 times the number is a number itself. Good.
Yes.
So this is called identity property. And then next one is A plus its opposite is 0. Good.
Got it.
So let's say 9 plus -9 is 0. And -10 plus 10 is 0. Good.
Yeah.
So basically what I'm saying, those properties applies to all numbers. Good.
Mhm.
As long as it's a number, then they have to follow those rules. And we also have a number times its reciprocal is equal to 1. Okay. So
Yeah.
let's say 9 times 1/9 is 1, or 1/3 times 3 is 1, or even like say 4/7 times 7/4, that is 1. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Makes
this is called inverse. And then we have 2 more dealing with, it's called a distributive property. So this is A times B plus A times C. Okay.
It's equal to A times B.
And A plus A times C. So this thing gets distributed to B and distributed to A.
Yes.
So for example, 4, 7 plus 3, that's equal to 4 times 7 is 28 plus 4 times 3 is 12, right?
Yeah. That makes sense.
That gives us 40. Or you can say 7 plus 3 is 10, 4 times 10 is 40. Good?
Yeah. That makes total sense.
Okay, so this is called distributive property. And this is, you can see that later on, you'll see that it is very, very useful. So we have that. And this is from the left-hand side. You could also have from the right-hand side. Okay, you can do A times C plus B times C. Good.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are the 10 basic rules, and then we need 2 more. So it has to deal with this. If dealing with equations, so far we're dealing with operators, addition plus and addition and multiplication. Now we're going to deal in equations. So we have this rule is if A is equal to B, then A plus C equal to B plus C. Okay.
Yeah.
So as long as you are adding the same number on both sides, then the equation is true. Good.
Yeah. Makes
Then
sense.
the last one is if A is equal to B, then A times a number. If you, as long as you times the same thing on both sides, then the equation is still true.
Yeah.
So this actually is a typical math problem. It's called logic. Because what we got here is if then structure. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll say if this is true, then this is true. Okay.
Yeah.
And this one we call hypothesis. And this one called conclusion. Okay.
Yeah.
So we have this. We said, as long as this is true, then this has to be true. Good.
Yeah.
Very good. So with that, then we can really play the symbols. So especially when we're dealing with, use the linear equation, for example. Now we can say what is a linear equation? We have to do a definition. Now we see some examples. We say 2x plus 7 is equals to 8 and 3x minus 5 equal to 9. They are all linear equations, right?
Yeah.
Hello? So we give a definition. We said, okay, look at here. We have to have an x. Okay.
Huh.
Also, we have something in front of x, and that's what we call coefficient. And then we just use a symbol to represent that, because that could be any number, right?
Yeah.
As long as a is not 0. Okay.
Yeah.
If a is 0, then x is not there. Okay.
Mhm.
Because x times 0 is just 0. So that's kind of.
Yeah.
Okay. Now we see that we have this term.
Mhm.
Then we're going to add a constant. We put it as a b. Good.
Yeah.
Equal to another constant, c. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So b and c can be any number. A can be any number except 0. So with that, we are able to come up with a formula. And that's what the power of algebra is, that we can come up with formula, then we just, from that point on, we just use it. Good.
Yeah.
So in this case, we know that if we add exactly the same thing on both sides, then we are okay, right?
Yeah.
But we're going to add negative b. And the reason for that is b plus negative b is 0. So we got this. Good.
Yes.
On the left. On the right, c plus negative b basically is c minus b, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And ax plus a 0, that's basically ax, right?
Yeah.
Then we have ax equal to c minus b. Then what we're going to do now is we're going to multiply negative a on both sides. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So on the left-hand side, 1 over a times a, they are reciprocals. So they got 1. Okay.
Yeah.
On that side is c minus b divided by a. Okay.
Yeah.
So therefore, we got this formula. Okay.
Hey, that reminds me of something like the formula, one of my physical science formulas.
Right. Physics actually use a lot of formulas, like force is equal to matter times acceleration.
Oh yeah, that one.
Right.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So, and if you know algebra, physics is super easy because we just basically playing the symbols. So now we actually get this. Once we have that, I can see, then we can just use it, right?
Yeah.
So like you say 3x plus 5 equals to say 12. That's easy now because our c is 12, so it's 12. Our b is 5, our a is 3. Then 12 minus 5, 7, 7 over 3, then we have it. So we don't have to go through that process again. We just need to do that for all. Good?
Yeah, that makes total sense.
Right. And that's what you're going to see in algebra. You're going to see a lot of formulas. Okay. But the reason we learn algebra is to learn how to come up with a formula. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And that
Yeah.
actually, that's the power of that. I mean, that's why Newton was able to come up with this formula, because he understands algebra. Good.
Yeah, yeah, it makes complete sense.
Right. Yeah. So, and also you can play with the once you understand algebra, then you can just play the symbols. Like, for example, in physics, there's a lot of formulas, but they actually came from some very basic. So physics, you have basically the three laws, right? Newton's laws.
Yeah.
And one is the inertia. Inertia means that if force is 0, the velocity has to be a constant. Good?
Yeah.
Okay, that's first one. Second one is force is equal to mass times acceleration. The third one is any reaction has an equal amount of, any action has an equal amount but opposite reaction.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that's all, basically that's the basic of the high school physics. When you go to college, it's going to be more complicated. Like you probably get into like quantum physics, which is different. This is more kind of called they call it mechanical kinetics.
Kinetics, yeah.
Or physics. Okay, so but knowing the formula now, you can come up with other things. So you say force is equal to ma. Now, what is acceleration? Now, acceleration, basically, if we divide m on both sides, we can write as this, right?
Yeah.
Good. Now, if we divide m on both sides, and this side only got a, the other side is force over mass, right?
Yeah.
So now you get a new formula. Is if you know the force, you know the mass, you can get the acceleration.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And similarly, if you know force and acceleration, you can calculate the weight, I mean the mass of the object. Because thing we have that, right? If we divide by a on both sides, this cancel. The mass is f of a, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So once you know how to do algebra, I mean physics becomes easy.
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
All right. So I'll see you next week. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you for the lesson. It was really great. Thanks so much.
Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.